how did you first start on Instagram, and then what happened?
So Instagram, I basically fell into the role of reviewing. Like I actually never thought I would become a reviewer in that sense, but Instagram, I would say what 3 4 years ago is when it was in its infancy stages. I started a page basically to post some of our remodel work. Like I noticed other guys were doing it, and Instagram, this new app. Um, and I was posting, drywall work and like flooring and some deck stuff and this and that. And I started posting, tools just for fun. Like I had the newest whatever it was, and people would ask me like, "Hey, what do you think about that? It's brand new. Like you're the first guy I've seen with that." So I started writing responses, and I guess people liked what they saw because they kept asking me as I posted more and more tools. What do you think about that? The responses got longer and longer, and I realized that this is something cool. Like I'm helping people. People would message me back and be like, "Wow, like I bought that tool that you posted and it was amazing, and thank you so much." So I was like, you know what, this could be something real, and I just kept posting tools and writing longer and longer responses, and I actually reached out to a few brands to work with them, basically saying like, "Hey, you have this new tool. I would love to try it." And that's how that whole thing kind of started. Is that I got connected with corporate on with a number of brands, and then they just started sending me stuff, and then that again snowball. It's just a snowball effect, right? I got that tool, write a good review, or write the honest truth, used it in the field, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and here we are today. It's just amazing. I get invited out to media events, and I'm traveling traveling North America and actually the world. I just came back from Germany for a festival, so it's really cool to say that an app 3 years ago, 4 years ago, changed my life into this now.
As it grew, it probably doesn't matter quite as much how much you post or how you use hashtags and things like that. But talk to us just real briefly about some Instagram strategy.
Honestly, it depends on the post. It depends on the tool. So I find that some of the more rare stuff. I mean, like this strategy, I guess, just works for me. But some of the more rare tools are like a lot of these guys that are on there right now. Friends of mine on Instagram. Everyone wants to get like the latest stuff first, because it does well. Like you post something that somebody else doesn't have, chances are you're gonna get a lot of action on that. Um, Bright pictures definitely help. Bright pictures, bright video, capturing a proper cover image at the start of a video is critical for attracting an audience, because all people see are that is that thumbnail, and that's what's going to bring you in, right? So I mean, if you see me post a drill in action, I'm not going to freeze frame on like the bottom of the battery. That's not really going to help anyone. But if there's a good shot of that tool where you can say, "Hey, that's the new so and so from whatever brand," and then you're gonna want to click on that post, or I hope you do. But yeah, drawing people in the right way, like I steer clear of like clickbait and stuff like that. It just backfires. But that's a good strategy. Relevant hashtags, like keeping up with what's current, is huge, right? Like you just can't go out there and hashtag tool and hashtag work and generic hashtags like that, because they're not really going to get you anywhere because they're so vague. But if you were to say, again, like let's use a brand for an example, we say Milwaukee. Uh, what's new from them? They have that mud mixer that just came out. So I could say Milwaukee Fuel Mud Mixer as a hashtag. Chances are somebody's going to search for that hashtag if they're looking for that specific tool, and that will lead them to either my post or one of my colleagues' posts with the same similar tool, right? So hashtags are definitely useful because Instagram search feature, as you know, it's very limited. So it's hard to find specific content on Instagram with the current search feature that they have. So I use hashtags very frequently, as much as possible. But again, it's hard to know which ones hit. Some are hit, some are miss. So it's a variety of strategies all wrapped in.
What about how many times per day and what time of day? Does that make any difference?
So the time of day thing is a debate that we have again among the other guys that are posting tools on there on Instagram, and I think that it does and it doesn't matter. So if you look, I have a business account on Instagram, so we have this. I'm sure you do too. Insights, so you can click on your insights and know what your traffic is, and it'll show you the time of day where there's the most activity on your page. So we aim for that peak in activity, and I find that it's either like say 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. So I'm sure it's like when guys are maybe carpooling to work, or they're like on public transit to the job site or whatever, and they have a chance to whip out their phones and take a peek. Or it could be, a lot of guys start early. Let's say they start at 7 and the first break's around like 9 o'clock. You're going to stop for a coffee or whatever it is, right? So I think that's when guys are actually getting the chance to scroll and like see what's going on. So that's a good time to post 9 to 10 o'clock. Again at like 3. So we find from 3 to 5 o'clock is another surge. And I'm again assuming that that in it's because the guys who start at 7 are going to get off at around 3, 4 o'clock. Maybe they're bored at the end of the day on the way home or whatever, and they just want to scroll. So that's another good time to post. And then the other surge is around 10 and 11 o'clock. So probably guys are in bed, shooting the shit on Instagram just before the end of the day, and they browse. So that's another good time to post. But this really just affects North America. You could post at any time and get action from other parts of the world based on their time zones, right? So that's the beauty of Instagram. It's worldwide, but if you want to talk about relevant tools or relevant content to North America, you got to post based on the time zone.
How about stories? What do you think about Instagram stories?
I honestly, I like stories. I find that it's a different type of content that goes up on there. Like some guys use content for very detailed explanations on certain things, and I love that too. Like I watch people's stories for information as well. So I try and use stories as sort of a filler, just because like I post my family to stories. I post like where I'm at during the day. If you want to check in, cool. If you don't, like, no sweat off my back. It's not a big deal. I just kind of use it as filler,
Mm-hmm.
but I do try and post quality information on there from time to time whenever it comes up. Um, I would love to use stories more, to be honest, but where I'm in Canada, so I'm not sure if you know, we're super limited on data. So like I blow through my data every month by a huge amount. I think I have 15 gigs and I probably do about 25 plus. So I get nailed in overages, and I have the largest pack that you could possibly get. So as much as I would love to do more on stories from the field, I just don't have the benefit of an unlimited data package like most of you guys in the states do, or a larger chunk of data in the field. And I think that's my drawback right now. I would love to find a way to get a larger data package that I can offer better stories to people.